Lightsmith Crusader Holy Paladin is looking to hammer its way back into the meta. How this playstyle works is we're going to be using our powerful 1-minute cooldown Avenging Crusader to throw hammers and slash people with swords to heal our allies. On top of that, every time that one of our judgments crits, it's going to pulse out a big heal off of what it crits. So cross our fingers that we get this to proc often and get good RNG because it does a lot of healing. Thanks to our tier set. So our new tier set says that it's going to buff the Hammer and Anvil healing that happens, and not only will it proc off of Judgment crits, but it will also proc off of Crusader Strike crits. On top of that, every time that we get this to proc, so every time that one of our 2 rotational buttons crits, we're going to gain a stack, and then the next time that we gift an ally with a weapon from our class tree, or our hero tree, it's going to basically gift little mini versions to other allies. So we're going to be giving this ally a shield, we're going to be smacking people with hammers, giving our ally a sword, smacking them with our own sword. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot like Mistweaver, how you kind of punch and kick to do healing, and it really just flows. I mean, you have a powerful healing cooldown. You have this to kind of fill the gaps of the weaknesses of your RNG AoE procs. We're running AoE Beacon because this is what we used to play back when this build was like very popular. So it's just what I'm used to and hoping to fish for big crits during these beacon windows. But let's just jump into it. All right, so we are back in Echo Dome Eldani. I have been absolutely loving testing this dungeon. I think the mechanics are very cool. I have my in-game volume turned down for a bit because Venari just loves to yell in your ears, so I'm sparing you guys for that. But this build is very fluid, and it reminds me a lot of what Mistweaver kind of used to be back when the game was a lot slower, back when you had like your rotation was just slower and you could feel smoother and stuff. This build feels more like that because it's kind of like a clunky version of what Mistweaver's doing. In my opinion, that's just how I see it at least. But Avenging Crusader and Crusader Strike and Judgment, they all feel so impactful when you press them with how they heal. It's not like having a single Tiger Palm hit, you know? It's just very impactful and like oomphy is kind of like how I like to describe it. But we're going to be playing very heavily around a singular talent that I think is very important when playing this Holy Paladin build, and that is Crusader's Might, I believe. Yeah, Crusader's Might. So Crusader Strike is going to reduce the cooldown of Judgment and Holy Shock. So really all that this says is make sure that your Crusader Strike is the last thing that you're doing. So if you Crusader Strike before you Judgment, that's just bad, because you could Judgment first and then Crusader Strike, and then that Crusader Strike just takes time off of your cooldown. And that is good. Okay, the Hunter has big aggro, so we're going to heal the Hunter. So far, it's really hard to tell what numbers are healing from Crusader and what numbers are healing from Hammer and Anvil. So I'm kind of excited to see the breakdown and see what the overall numbers look like. You know what I mean? Hopefully they look good. And oh god, we have this affix to deal with. Let me go ahead and turn up the volume so you guys have better volume on your end. And let's keep moving in. We also have 2 stacks of Masterwork. So we have gotten 2 stacks of Hammer and Anvil. Let's go ahead and gift a shield before those Masterwork stacks end so that we just gift other free shields. I'm also excited to see how much shield healing we're doing, because I imagine that if you're gifting a bunch of free shields out of nowhere, that can really add up. Like, that really can add up. So I'm excited to see all the healing numbers and like the actual overall breakdown, because I feel like it's going to be pretty shaken up from the Holy Paladin that we're used to. Ooh, there's a free wings proc. Love to see that. There's a Hammer and Anvil. That's what I like to see. Let's go and gift the weapon just to kill this guy quicker, and so that we don't lose all these Masterwork stacks. I need to make a weak aura. I feel like once I do play this this hero tree on live, I definitely will have a weak aura made. To show me how many master work stacks I have. But here I have 1, I think. Interesting. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at the healing number. So Holy Shock kind of carried that pool. I am playing some Holy Shock talents like Light of the Martyr because they're just so powerful. However, I also only pressed Crusader once. Now Crusader is really solid on like boss fights or like extended pools where it just does all of its healing all as a burst, and you'll get multiple uses of it across a fight. Like here, I'm probably going to use it when we have these ads out. I'm guessing it's just a good time to need healing. So let's go ahead and dump it now. Let's just keep it rolling. But yeah, basically the very simplified rotation is just Judgment, Crusader Strike, Spender. Judgment, Crusader Strike, Spender. And like weaving in Holy Shocks in there when you can. So Judgment, Holy Shock, Crusader Strike, Spender. And that'll get you up to 3 Holy Power. You just rinse and repeat. I'm going to pop a defensive here because this does kind of hurt. Let's go ahead and use our Beacon because we can. Let's gift a shield to the Hunter and hope that they send our damage into overdrive. One other big benefit to this build, let's go ahead and give a shield to the Hunter too. But one big benefit to this build is that it heals off of passive damage. So like, although I'm doing my rotation with the intention of healing, it is also just doing damage like as a happenstance kind of thing, which is always very good. It's also a big reason why I love Mistweaver. You see there, we got a big Hammer and Anvil proc there. But yeah, this is a big reason why I love Mistweaver, because I can just like be doing my healing rotation and then oops, I'm just doing a ton of damage too, you know? Like I love that about these specs. So now we have the ads spawning. This is probably the scary part of the fight. Before these dots come out, which is what happens when these puddles drop, I am going to pop Aura Mastery just to give my group a little bit more mitigation. Let's go ahead and use our Beacon and hope for a Hammer and Anvil. We did not get it. We didn't get it again. Dang. And see, this is the downside, is that you are kind of fishing for a button to crit, but the hero or the tier set definitely alleviates a lot of the negatives with this tree. Because, yes, you're still waiting on something to crit, but at least now it's 2 sources. You're not just waiting on Judgment to crit, you're waiting on Judgment or Crusader Strike to crit. Which is honestly not that bad, especially because when you're in your Crusader, your Avenging Crusader, you just get 2 stacks of Crusader Strike. So you get just more chances to proc it. So, all in all, like, you know, I've tested a lot of the healer builds so far. I haven't made videos on all the ones that I've tested, but I've tested a bunch of them. And some of the ones that I thought I would like the most have just felt the least complete. Like I tested Resto Shaman's Totemic, and y'all know I love me some Totemic Shaman. I was really underwhelmed. But this one, this hero talent tree, and this tier set, they flow. Like there's a clear plan, clear direction on what it wants you to do, and it's just a big improvement on what I think is a semi-beloved, I guess depending on who you asked. A lot of people love this hero talent tree, a lot of people hate it. Let's go and gift a weapon to the druids that can go crazy. But you know, I've heard a lot of Holy Paladin mains really don't like this build, like the Avenging Crusader Lightsmith, because it's a lot of smart healing. And you know what? I see that. I see where they're coming from, because this spec is just not designed to do a lot of smart healing. It's designed to be like a shock active healer, you know? So I get why they wouldn't enjoy this, but man, as someone who plays Mistweaver, I love this build. Let's go and pop wings just because it's a minute cooldown. Literally, why wouldn't we, you know? Why wouldn't we? I guess we can give a shield to the tank. And then I can see that we just gifted a mini shield to the Hunter. Dude, that is actually really helpful. That is really helpful. Consecrate, and then we can keep healing this tank. I really want to take a look at what they've done to Brewmaster, because I've seen a lot of people testing Brewmaster Monk on the PTR, which is, honestly, as a Monk main, it's very heartwarming. Let's go ahead and Beacon, because these guys jumping do a lot of AoE. Let's go ahead and gift a weapon to someone. And just keep our damage rotation flowing. So I'm Beacon, because we have these triple hitting Holy Shocks. Don't die on me. I really don't know what the numbers of the beacons look like nowadays. I know in live, we definitely play double beacon instead of the AoE beacon cooldown. Because you see, I'm actually kind of chewing through my mana bar a little bit, whereas the other build literally doesn't even look at their mana bar at all. So that is kind of a concern. Also, The rest of this build, however, is pretty mana efficient, though. So if you can get away with Beacon of Virtue, I feel like it's fine. But yeah, it has seen a lot of nerfs recently. So I'm interested to see what those numbers look like. Let's go and Beacon. And let's try to get some Hammer and Anvil procs. Man, I will say, though, I do miss those gigantic Hammer and Anvils that we used to see in, what was it, Season 1 or Season 2, maybe, of The War Within? Back when, like, Stonebolt was a dungeon and everything, because those would chunk. Those would absolutely chunk. Let's go ahead and Divine Toll so we can spot heal up this tank. Ooh, that's a big Hammer and Anvil. I saw 663k on everyone. I love that. Oh my goodness, did y'all see that triple hitting Holy Shock just slam up every health bar through that beacon? That was really nice. Very, very nice. But yeah, the reason why, for those wondering, the reason why I chose this healer after showcasing the both the monk specs, I am intending on showcasing all of the healer specs and all of their talent trees and whatnot. But I like to do it in the order that I am most excited to play the specs. So obviously I was most excited to try both monk specs, because I love monk, y'all know this. But then after that, this was the next one that caught my eye. So on top of that, though, I did see some comments of people who really wanted to see me trying this build. Someone commented the other day, like, hey, when are you going to showcase Holy Paladin Lightsmith? And here we are. Here we are. So, that being said, if you guys want me to showcase another healer or another hero talent tree of one of the healers, definitely comment down below, because I do take that into account and the order of which that I get to each healer. Because like I said, I intend on doing them all. It's just a matter of which order I get to them. So let me know which one you guys are most excited to see, or just most curious to see, I guess. And eventually I will, as they change things, like as they announce like buffs or nerfs and whatnot, I will be going back and like taking other looks at the monk ones, you know, all that jazz. I need to not die to these puddles if I can help it. Woo! These mobs are no joke, but let's go ahead and just Beacon just to top everyone up. Yeah, Beacon is kind of sick. I really do miss Beacon. AoE Beacon. Let's go ahead and drink for some mana, I guess, while we're AFK here. And we're coming up on the second boss here, which the second boss is actually really cool. However, I still think a lot of people on PTR are doing it very incorrectly, so it makes my life as the healer just much harder out of nowhere. Should I pop a defensive? No, we're chilling. Go and shield ourselves. But yeah, I do think that Hammer and Anvil went from being like, it could literally heal through a mechanic if you got it to proc at the right time. It went from that much power, like that much oomph, to being more of like a very just strong rotational thing that could happen. So the more judgments, the more Crusader Strikes I get off in a dungeon, just the more that passive healing is just going to build up and build up and build up. But it's definitely not going to be something that I plan a judgment cast around a mechanic, you know, hoping that it crits so that I can hold on to Divine Toll. Don't think it's that strong of an effect anymore. But yeah, I think I really do like the direction they're taking it, where they're saying, hey, it's not going to be as strong as it used to be, but yeah, we are going to up the frequency in which you get it. We're going to send a weapon to our ally. And we're not going to stand in this frontal. Yeah, guys, I did some testing of the raid PTR fights, and without spoiling anything, these fights look unreal, like beautiful fights. So I think we're in for a very fun raid tier for season 3. And I did do some Mistweaver testing, and I tested like 3 different builds. The Chi-Ji Yulon, I'm sorry, the raid Yulon Rushing Wind Kick build, that build, extremely powerful with Celestial Conduit. I then tested Chi-Ji with both hero talent trees, extremely powerful with both trees. So it's looking like a fun Mistweaver tier. So I am also excited to see where Holy Paladin lands, because I'm really considering Joining a second guild and raiding basically 4 nights a week as opposed to just 2 nights a week. Because, you know, this is my job. Playing the game is my job. Whether I like to say that or not, you know. So I do want to be putting more time into it each week, into raiding specifically, so that I'm more, I have more footage for, like, guides for bosses and stuff like that. So I'm really trying to take a deep look at all of the healers and just see which one I, you know, prefer to play the most that's not monk, so that I can have an alt that's not a monk, basically. So far, Lightsmith, Holy Paladin, is clearly ahead of the rest. But like I said, I have not tested all the healers, and I definitely have not done any testing in the raid environment. Yeah, dude, this is a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Ooh, okay, we lusted. Let's do our big damage rotation. I kind of just wasted Lightsmith, or wasted Avenging Crusader. This, we need to stand like this. Go and beacon. Ooh, that was a huge Crusader strike. Love to see it. Let's stand right here so we don't cleave. Oh, there's the boss. Ooh, I think I did hit the boss there. I don't know if the line has to go all the way through the boss, but I kind of forgot that the first person kind of sends the boss elsewhere. Let's go and get the weapon to someone. Okay, we're gonna go far so that we don't cleave on anyone. Let's go and beacon. Give me some hammer and anvils. Let me see him. There was one. Okay. And we got our free wings proc. Love to see it. Yeah, you see when we get these things to proc, we do so much healing. Ow. Go ahead and beacon just to top everyone up during this downtime while they destabilize. Alright. I do like how this boss has downtime. I feel like they never do that in dungeons where, like, bosses just pause to think about what they're doing, you know? But so far it's looking like we are going to destroy this boss. I feel like I go a little bit this way, yeah. Because our hunter is standing out in Narnia in classic hunter behavior. Literally standing out in Narnia. I'm going to lay on hands. Ooh, I don't know who all is, like, ignoring mechanics, but it's kind of getting a little spooky. But we have wings. Oh my goodness, Avenging Crusader is so sick. It is so sick. But, like I said, like, if you're a Holy Paladin main and you just don't like smart healing, I get why you're not a fan if you're not a fan of this build. I get why you wouldn't be a fan. But me... this build is super awesome. Let's go and beacon because we cleaved a lot there, like a whole lot. Oof. Oof, that's some cleaving. That's what I'm talking about, is I really think that people are doing this mechanic wrong. You see, we're all kind of just stacking our arrows on top of each other. I guess I do need to res, don't I? And that is not right. But let's go ahead and give a shield to the warrior and spot heal up the druid. Yeah, we have plenty of time to top people up. Yeah, we all just cleaved on each other. But honestly, this boss is super fun. Let's see what our boss healing breakdown looks like. Okay, Word of Glory coming in strong. But then Hammer and Anvil actually being our second highest healing source is something that I did not think I would see again. But now that I've read this tier set, I'm like, okay, maybe Hammer and Anvil might be the truth again. So very exciting, you know. I love to see Hammer and Anvil that high up. But I will say, I mean, part of me thinks that, like, if we are popping Crusader and getting 2 charges of Crusader Strike and just pressing those buttons on cooldown, you would think it would proc more often than it does. You would think. And I also have different talents that give my judgments higher chances of critting too. So, I mean, you would think it would proc way more often than it does. But it's still not bad. I'm definitely not complaining there. Just pointing it out. Okay, we lost our druid. They DC'd. Hate to see it, but we're gonna dispel them regardless. Let's go ahead and beacon. Let's Okay, we're getting this buff, which this buff gives us haste. Which, hey, I don't hate haste with this build. It gives us more Crusader Strikes and Judgments. More fluid of a rotation. But if you haven't seen any PTR footage, people disconnect all the time. Like, it literally happens like 20 times a dungeon. So we've actually had pretty good RNG with the disconnects. I just hope that this druid comes back, because we are very close to the end of this dungeon, and I think we are blazing through. In fact, I am our only death so far. So that's pretty good, actually. Alright, yeah, so far, not gonna lie, I am having a lot of fun. I love this build. Really love this build. So, like, in a fun category, ow. From a fun standpoint, it gets like 2 thumbs up. 2 thumbs up from me. Because there's nothing more satisfying than seeing a big Hammer and Anvil proc. We also don't need this buff. Our druid is just like looking around like, hey, where am I going to AFK again? Where am I going to DC? Alright, after this pull, I kind of want to see what our Brewmaster's damage looks like, because shout out to Brewmaster's getting a rework. Finally. Finally. It's been long overdue. See how much damage we can do this pool. What are we at? Only 600k. I do kind of wish that they would give Hammer and Anvil like a little damage component, maybe, from the tier set. That could be pretty sick. Because, I mean, look, our damage isn't through the roof. It wouldn't break anything, right? Alright, so let's, we gotta save our cooldowns for this erratic whatever. Let's kick that cast. Let's go and pop wings. Pop it early. Okay, this erratic ritual, we're gonna pop, Aura Mastery. Go ahead and CC everyone. Let's beacon. Oh, word, that hurt. Okay, we killed him. Killed him very quickly. I like the prio damage in this group. Everyone kind of seems to know who to focus. And, like, the spirit is dying really quickly. So I'm, like, barely having to swap to it. Ooh, I did not know you could boop that. That kind of got scary. Oof. Okay, that erratic ritual really hurts. I did not want to pop another cooldown. Because, one, all I have is beacon. But yeah. Looks like we're fine. Oh, we're still in combat. Oops. I thought people were clicking this. I was like, okay, I'll click it too. But yeah, this dungeon has really fun mechanics. If you haven't gotten a chance to test the PTR, I have a video up on my channel of showing how to get into the PTR. It's extremely simple. Anyone can do it. You don't need an invite. You don't need to buy anything. As long as you already have a WoW subscription, that's all you really need. PTR is really easy to access, and honestly, so far, next season has very high potential, and in my eyes. I haven't really seen any of the input of the other content creators of, like, if they like the new dungeon, if they like the new raid and whatnot. But if y'all care what I have to say about it, it's looking pretty sick. It honestly is looking pretty sick so far. This dungeon is very fun. The raid fights are very fun and engaging, but they don't seem too overly complicated. Okay, maybe one of them that I did today was pretty dang complicated, but it was still a very good time. So far, I can't really see... maybe like 1 or 2 might need weak auras, but nothing too insane. There's no like big weak aura spaceship bosses this tier. Okay, this pack is actually actually really terrifying. Let's go ahead and kick that cast. Let's go ahead and beacon and gift a weapon to the druid, and let's pop wings for this ritual. I'm even gonna have to divine toll here. Ow! Swap to the spirit. Yeah, we did lose someone. This pool is hard, man. There's a lot of damage coming out, like kind of out of nowhere too. Here's a ritual again. What do I have? I have beacon. That's kind of it. Yeah, that's really only it. But this build does benefit from fights that give you damage amps as well as healing amps. So that's pretty good for fights like this one because he does give you, I believe, a 10% damage amp and a 10% healing amp. So like things like Hammer and Anvil will scale off of the healing amp, and then things like Avenging Crusader will scale off of the damage amp. So love to see that for us. Let's go ahead and shield someone. Just keep that on cooldown. And I'll beacon as I go collect my guy. And I'm ready to pop wings. Give me some big, juicy procs. Let's go and pop beacon. Get me a Hammer and Anvil. Ooh, okay, there was a Hammer and Anvil. Like to see it. I mean, I don't like this affix. I am having to actually heal people's affix off, which is kind of cringe. An Ore Mastery here. Kind of low on resources here. Don't kill me! We're chilling. Okay, our Balance Druid is not chilling, though. I'll be able to get him up after this phase, but right now I'm kind of turbo focused on healing. Yeah, let's get him up. Ooh! Big procs there. Did y'all see that? Oh my goodness, this boss hurts, man. This boss, like, hurts in its downtime, too, which is the weird thing. Okay, these Hammer and Anvil procs are really adding up. Have y'all been watching these health bars? Like, we had like 3 Hammer and Anvil procs, one after the other. That was insane. Let's go and beacon. Hopefully, oh, that's our sound. Hopefully people live. And they do. Go and shield the hunter. Putting a rolling shield on as many people as we can. We're going to lay on hands the hunter here. Okay, I need to go and collect all of my guys really quickly here. Go and get this one. Don't kill me. We're going to sack the hunter here. Pop wings. Pop beacon. Okay, we got all of our guys. We are good. I believe this boss should be dead. Dude, look at our healing. A sustained 2.8k. As Lightsmith, Avenging Crusader, Holy Paladin. I mean, or 2.8k. 2.8 million. That is incredible. Honestly, like a shocking showing. Pun absolutely intended. Pun absolutely intended. Okay, we do have more percent to get. Go ahead and get that before we look at the full breakdown of the key. If details will allow us to, now that I think about it. Okay, let's go ahead and gift a weapon at the start so that I can gift a shield to the tank on pool. And let's kill these guys. These guys hurt, too. Let's try to contribute some damage here. There's a free wings proc. I'm going to go ahead and press beacon. Just to help with the passive healing. And boom. We did it. Okay. Let's look at this healing breakdown. I mean, we absolutely slammed that key. Slammed that key. Okay, look. Holy Shock actually being our top is shocking. That is shocking. Word of Glory also being our second top. That is, once again, shocking. Very shocking. But that shows that, like, this build isn't all smart heals. So if you're someone who is, just does not like playing this build is not all smart heals. I did a lot of healing through active healing. Like, I had to choose to heal these people. But on top of that, supplementing that, Beacon of Light, Beacon of Virtue did a lot of healing. Hammer and Anvil absolutely putting in work. Now, I do want to kind of compare this to Master of Harmony. with the new potential energy healing from Master of Harmony Mistweaver Monk. They're both kind of passive AoE heals that come off of your basic rotation in different ways. Hammer and Anvil was an existing source of healing, whereas potential energy is being added into the game through the tier set. So Hammer and Anvil right now is just being amplified by the tier set of this new build. So when you compare the two, Hammer and Anvil is relatively low compared to Potential Energy that did about the same healing, but Potential Energy is being gifted to the spec by by the tier set, whereas Hammer and Anvil it's on the tier set or it's on the build already. It's just being enhanced by the tier set. So it's really hard. It's a little bit harder to quantify how much of this actual value. I mean, yeah, we could just take 15% of this and say that came from the tier set, and that is admittedly low. But then again, that's just the 15%. You can't really quantify how many of these procs came from Crusader Strike, because that does come from this tier set. So I would say about like this much over, if I had to guess, came from the tier set, and that is a considerable amount. Can they buff this hero tree in the future? Yes, I think this is definitely buffable. Should they buff it? Probably not. Probably not. It definitely seems like it is performing at a very good level. But if they wanted to buff it, I feel like it warrants, like, it probably could get a buff in the future, which is kind of fun to say. Like, they could buff Hammer and Anvil if they wanted to, and I don't think it would break things, is kind of the point I'm trying to make. But like I said, if you love Hammer and Anvil, if you love Avenging Crusader, those two sources cranked. This build absolutely cranks. Holy Bulwark absolutely going ham because of how many bonus shields we're gifting our allies with the, what are they called? Hammer fall? What are they called? Hammer and, oh gosh, Masterwork procs. So yeah, honestly, this build, pretty sick. Pretty sick. Highly recommend it. I definitely will be keeping you guys up to date as things move forward with future nerfs and buffs and how it's going to look moving forward. So stay tuned for that. Make sure that you guys are subscribed so you don't miss any future healing PTR testing for Season 3. Also, once Season 3 is about to drop and starting to drop, I will have a lot of healer guides for you guys, a lot of content for you guys to absorb to make the start of the season feel so much easier on you, because I know it's a stressful time trying to learn everything at once. It's my job to make it simpler and easier for you, so make sure you're subscribed. It goes a long way in supporting me. Like this video if you like this format, and if you want to see another healer, let me know which one down in the comments below, and make sure and specify the hero talent or the tier set bonus that you guys want to see. Thank you so much for watching and for all the support. I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, take care, guys.